If you're a B2B business owner looking to land more clients through LinkedIn DMs, this is a complete A to Z step guide in 2026 on how to get more appointments consistently and reliably. For those who don't know me, my name is Marcus Pizarro. I've been running a business online for the last 8 years and have been leveraging LinkedIn for 4 years and have actually helped hundreds of other businesses do the exact same thing that I'm about to teach you. Now, there are simply 4 pillars to making LinkedIn DMs work. Pillar number 1 is optimizing your profile for your client avatar. Pillar number 2 is how to find qualified prospects through Sales Navigator. Pillar number 3 is outbound relationship building, how to actually have conversations with your prospects and ultimately book them in to talk about your service. And then pillar number 4 is simply how to delegate it or automate it so that you can run this on autopilot. So I'll be sharing my screen, going through the exact pillars, starting with pillar number 1, how to optimize your profile for your client avatar. The reason why optimizing your profile is essential on LinkedIn is because it is your website, it is your business card. People judge each other like a book cover. So you want to make sure that your profile not only looks professional and appropriate, but it also speaks to your industry, speaks to your prospects. And in this video, we're going to dive into it step by step. And I'm actually going to leverage a couple of my business peers and friends who are also leveraging LinkedIn in their niche. So starting from the top, you want to have a professional banner on LinkedIn. You can simply go to Canva and generate a ton of different LinkedIn banner styles that might fit your brand and fit your niche. Then within your banner, you can also add in milestones, accomplishments, or simply call out to your industry. So my friend Carter, who works in real estate, is calling out helping realtors scale with paid ads, telling them how he helps realtors through his marketing services. Same thing with my friend Jeremiah, who works in the PI law industry, calling out to attorneys and wanting to grow with them. You can also share illustrations and images of you at events where you teach people so that you seem more of a authority or expert in your field, like my friend Luis Guzman. Similarly, you want to have a professional profile picture that speaks to your market. So again, if you're working B2B, chances are you want to be more buttoned up, whether it be business casual or formal, and absolutely make sure that your profile picture looks clean. Now, just as a side tip, I usually like images that are in a business event space or with you speaking in the mic as if like really right now where I'm speaking to you guys. Just shows a lot of credibility through knowing that, hey, this person has a mic, chances are he's a speaker or he is an authority in his field. Now moving downward, we want to have a solid bio. The bio simply wants to do 3 things: call out to your audience, talk about how you help your audience or your client avatars, and then any accomplishments or social proof that could say that you are trustworthy. So to use my friend Jeremiah, he calls out to PI law firms and telling them how he helps them scale with pre-qualified leads, being a marketing company. Then he also adds more social proof telling them, hey, I've added thousands of cases that you're looking for firms just like yours. And similarly with Luis, calling out to cybersecurity agencies and helping them book more appointments in 90 days. He mentions that he runs a cybersecurity podcast and that he's an AI solution specialist. The reason you want to call out to your ideal client avatars is because it lets them know that you are in their field, that you acknowledge their world. From there, if they have the time, they're going to be more curious as to learn more about who you are, why they should connect with you in the first place. So that's when they go to the next step, which is checking out your entire about section. Now, in your about section, it's less about you, but more about how you help your clients and your prospects. This is where you really want to understand your audience and to really dig deep on what keeps them up at night. What are their current problems? What are their current desired outcomes that they want to achieve in their business? What are certain KPIs or metrics that they know they need to hit in their business? This is where we put it all into the about section and helping them understand we get their world, we care about them, and we know how to solve their problems with our system or service. So as you can see here, here's mine. We are simply acknowledging them for checking out my LinkedIn profile. Then we go ahead and change it to them. I go after currently B2B consultants and businesses on LinkedIn, and I acknowledge their problems that they're potentially having. Going to 3-star hotels, attending networking events that take hours out of their day, asking for friends and family members for referrals, or having to generate their business every time without consistency. Things that I know my consultants that I talk to on a daily basis go through and struggle with in marketing. Then I turn it around and share a little bit more about what I do and how I help consultants. And inside of this, you can also share how you've helped similar business owners as your prospects that are potentially reading this, how you've helped them achieve certain outcomes, again, how they achieve specific desired metrics in their business. Then we get into the benefits of your service. Sure, we can talk about the product and be product oriented and the features, which is great, but now we need to say, what does it mean for you? Why does this help you as a business owner in your business? This is where it can be saving more time, making them more money, running a leaner operations and business as a whole, or simply more consistency in their marketing, in their sales or operations. Then at the end, when we close, we're going to wrap it up and say, who is this for again? Call out to them, and then have your own call to action, a CTA, saying just message me AI and we'll go over the details. So I'll use Jeremiah again as an example, calling out to law firms or lawyers, talking about their 3 biggest pain points and problems, talking about what he does, and then talking about the benefits of why his system helps law firms get more pre-qualified cases. He calls out to them again, talking about who he can help with this system and service, and then a call to action to say, just message me leads. So last part, let's go ahead and talk about engagement and actually building out your profile to look like you're an authority in your field. So my friend Carter, who's been using LinkedIn for quite a while in real estate, targeting real estate agents and realtors, has done a phenomenal job, a superb job. Now, building up your posts and comments will take time. In fact, I'll be humble enough to say that it's still building up for me too. But posting daily over the next 90 to 180 days is going to help you significantly grow your following and ultimately your LinkedIn. Now, there are several types of posts that you can make so that it's a variety of different things you talk about in your industry. Number 1 is simply sharing value. Sharing value or educating them on your service in your industry helps people be more nurtured, be more aware of the problems, and ultimately seeing that your service can be a solution. Now, my little side tip here really fast is don't always have a call to action to sign up for your services or to apply. Remember, you want to really teach these people on LinkedIn the service, and naturally they'll be more inclined to engage with you. This is what we call inbound marketing. Aside from sharing value, the second, however, is sharing your case studies. Talking about your client stories is a great way to resonate with your prospects. When you can illustrate where your clients were struggling before working with you and why they started working with you, and of course the results of working with you, it's a great way to reach out to your prospects indirectly and say, hey, if you're struggling with this, I might have a solution for you. The third way to post is simply sharing your story as a business owner yourself. There's a lot of things that potentially that you're going through that a lot of business owners, especially your potential clients, could resonate with. Whether it be on the front end with sales and marketing or branding, or on the back end with operations, client management, or team management. There's a lot of things that you can share yourself and ultimately get a lot of people resonating with it and being inclined with your story, with your vulnerabilities, and your journey. Now you might be asking me, do I have to make reels like I see on TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram, or YouTube Shorts? Absolutely not. You simply actually can just post it as an article with no pictures. But of course, you want to do some testing, maybe have images, no images again, or a video, even a video of you speaking. And one of my favorite ways to generate ideas for different posts is simply using ChatGPT. Let me show you. So I go into ChatGPT and I simply ask it to prompt me a certain amount of articles at a certain length, usually 5 to 8 sentences long, with different angles about my service and how this industry I'm working in needs it. Let me go ahead and show you. So I'll go ahead and say, write me 8 LinkedIn posts, 5 to 8 sentences long, on how cyber security companies need to use AI to lean out their operations. As you can see, ChatGPT just simply creating me 5 to 8 sentences long posts about how cybersecurity can leverage AI to help their operations and ultimately their businesses. Post number 1 being operational efficiency, reducing manual work, AI as a force multiplier, budget constraints meet AI innovation, rethinking SOC models, which I honestly don't even know what that is. Post 6 is a really good one, talking about the urgency and the cry out to use AI before it makes any original business obsolete. Then you can make more specific tailored approaches. As you can see, ChatGPT is following up with me on so that I can go deeper into my client ideal avatar. But my biggest application is, of course, revamping your banner if you need to make it more appropriate for your industry that you're in, making a concise bio, calling out to who you're helping, how you help them, and why people should trust you, whether it be social proof or what you've done for others. And then your about section, helping your client avatars understand that, hey, I acknowledge your world, I understand the problems and pains you're going through, and I have a solution. Then we're going to optimize your profile with more posts so that people can start seeing your work and that you are actually in their field, and that leads them to wanting to connect with you inbound. So this is pillar number 1, the foundation of LinkedIn, your profile. Now let's go ahead and talk about pillar number 2, which is finding qualified prospects to do outbound outreach. So with this, we're simply going to use Sales Navigator, LinkedIn's internal tool. If you never used LinkedIn before, first off, you can get it for 1 month free. And then after that, at the current moment, it's only $110 a month. For most businesses I talk to, and that probably like yourself watching my YouTube, you're probably a solopreneur, not a medium-sized business enterprise. You most likely are just going to want to get Sales Core Navigator, which is great for you to leverage it as a CRM tool, qualifying prospects, and keeping track of your leads. So one of the great reasons, probably the reason why you clicked on this video and looked up LinkedIn in the first place, is because you understand that your clients are on LinkedIn and are active. Now, the great part about Sales Navigator then is that we can pinpoint exactly who we want to target, especially the decision makers of a business. Let me go ahead and actually show you. If we click lead filter here, we have over 50 different types of filters that we can go through and pinpoint on the ideal client avatar and decision makers. So let's say, for example, I want to go after accounting firms. I'll go ahead and simply search accountants right here, or accounting. So right now, great, we have 18 million people. Let's go ahead and bring it down by using the functions in Sales Navigator. So now we have job titles. We can definitely bring it down to owner, maybe co-owner, founder, and co-founder. So before we were at 18 million results search, now we're at 310,000. Another way to make this more precise is by putting quotations around accounting or the keyword. Now what this does is that the profile must absolutely have this word or phrase that you put into the keyword search. Watch this. So if I put 2 words, now I'm making sure that they are an accountant and they talk about accounting on their LinkedIn, whether it be about their profile or their posts. So let's say I only want to work with people in Los Angeles, where I'm based out of. If that's the case, and I only want to target people in the greater area of Los Angeles, I will still get 2,000 search results, people in my area. And there are a variety of other filters that you can leverage for your industry and ultimately to find the decision makers that you want to target and land as clients. You can use company headcount, knowing how many people are in a firm, past companies that maybe they were a part of, company type, so if it's a nonprofit, privately held, or public. Or you can filter for recent updates where you know that they've been active on LinkedIn by posting before. So you can use posted on LinkedIn. Now, the other thing I like about LinkedIn is that it actually helps you stay engaged with your prospects whenever they post articles, share articles, or simply create an engagement. So you can create different types of alerts for the leads that you're finding and engage with them as well. So if someone posts, I can simply check it and view it and also engage with it so that they can see that I'm not just a random bot, or ultimately I'm not just someone who's salesy, but actually engaging in, again, their world and acknowledging their field. And then this is where it gets sweet when we get into pillar number 3, but you can simply look at people's recent videos or recent articles and posts and use that as a reason to message them and talk about what they recently posted. And that simply makes it more conversational for you to engage with them. But I actually have a complete relationship framework and script that can easily get you a lot more conversations and replies. So let's go ahead and dive into pillar number 3, how to get qualified appointments through LinkedIn outreach. So now let's talk about how to be less salesy in the DMs of LinkedIn and ultimately develop more relationships and land them as appointments and ultimately as clients. So with LinkedIn, as I wanted to share again, when you get Sales Navigator, you also get 150 in-mails as well. Now, if you don't know what in-mails are, essentially that allows you to bypass the connection requests of LinkedIn. And with connections, you get usually 200 a week. And then again, with in-mails on top of that, you can send them straight emails that are connected to their LinkedIn account, which has usually a good open rate. So in-mails being emails, you want to have a solid subject line. So if you're using in-mails, you just want to keep it very simple in the subject line saying, hi, first name, quick question, first name, and then their company. Then from there, whether it be connection requests or the body of your in-mail, the body of the email, this is where you want to have an open line framework, a quick conversational opener that invites them to speak. In other words, each different opening line framework we have here are different angles, but follow the same principle, which is acknowledging their world, creating curiosity, and inviting a response. So the first opening line is a curiosity or notice framework. This is where you just simply say and acknowledge their world by saying, hey, I noticed that you're focused on this with your company. I was curious how you're handling outbound right now, something that's more relevant towards my service in respects to business. This is a great line because it allows people to just simply have a casual conversation with you, and then later you can tie it back to your service, which is the next step. The second angle most people take is a trigger event and questions framework. This is where an external event or an announcement and an update in their industry has affected potentially their role and their business, and you're seeing if you want to provide insights and talk more about it. And then the third angle is the peer insights and relevance check. And honestly, this one's one of my favorites when it comes to B2B business, because this is where you can simply shine light if it's true that you've helped similar businesses like theirs achieve a certain desired outcome that you know your clients want. Then you're just simply saying, would it be worth sharing ideas? Now, I want to show you my personal examples of me messaging back to my prospects through LinkedIn, just to kind of show you the proof in it too. This is another line, however, that I've been using. So I just sent this person an in-mail with the subject line, let's connect, Michael. And I'm simply saying, hey, Michael, curious if you have the capacity for an increase in consulting clients since I can help them generate more leads. Wondering if Shin Group is a good fit for a partnership. Then here's a positive reply. Michael Matthew replied, hey Marcus, I could always use more clients. Can you give me a quick rundown on how you help consultants? So with that being a positive reply, now we dive into the second part, which is the response handling system. Now, each response is still conversational. No corporate speak. You want to speak like you're talking friend to friend with people. That's what a lot of get people tripped up because they think LinkedIn is corporate, it's professional, it's made for hiring at the first place. But when you connect with someone and you want to reach out to them, you want to make it friendly as possible. Make it professional, but still friendly. Now with this response handling system, there's 3 different ways people can reply. Either positive, neutral, meaning asking for information, or they're skeptical, not really open to the idea or insights. So with Michael in this case, as you saw right here, this would be a positive reply. That's why we're saying we help companies like yours book 50 or more qualified meetings monthly using multi-channel outbound. Happy to share exactly if helpful. Happy to share exactly how if helpful. Quick call this week. And that's where we sent this message. And then Michael got back to us earlier today talking about when we can have a quick chat. Just to show the rest of the conversation, you just simply want to book them in manually. Don't drop your times. That actually drops your booking rate by 1/3 because they have to take their time out of their day, look at your calendar and book something in. And if they do not, they put it on the back burner because they're business owners like you and I, where we get busy with more important tasks. But we lose them in the pipeline. Now we have to play a follow-up game and they might lose interest and ultimately might just forget. So as you can see here, I dropped my time saying I'm available Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, dropping it in their time zone. What's the best email and phone number to send you an invite? Then right here, I'll block it off, but he sent me his email and phone number, letting me know too that 11 a.m. Mountain Time works. And then I'm just simply confirming it and telling him that I booked him in on my calendar, and he confirms that he's ready to talk on Friday. So that's a very easy going conversation that you will have from time to time, but you're also going to get people who ask more information. The difference is with the positive replies and the information, you just simply want to give them a little bit more information about how your system works, maybe a line or 2. But at the end of it, you want to ask if it's still worth a conversation that week to see how and if you can help their business. However, when they become more skeptical and not really open to ideas that you might have or insights, and maybe they pose a question on actually does it even work, That's where you can share case studies, starting with saying, fair question, just helped a similar company go from XYZ outcome to XYZ desired outcome. Then you can share how it's different than maybe something they've tried in the past or currently doing to achieve the outcome. And then, as always, we want to see if they're open to a quick chat, whether it be a phone call, Zoom call, Google or Team Meet. And again, if they are open to it, that's awesome. Go ahead and manually book them in. Don't send them a calendar link. Maybe drop your best 2 times that you're available and earliest availability for their phone number and email, and boom, you can simply book them in into your calendar and make sure that they meet with you. Now, not every single conversation is going to be as streamlined as that, where it's going to happen in one conversation flow. It's probably going to happen over a couple days, even a couple weeks. So with that, you want to have a follow-up sequence in place. And let me show you what mine look like. So here's my follow-up sequence, but first, before I share with you it, I just want to let you know that each follow-up gets shorter. It creates a sense of urgency through an assumption of disinterest or that they're too busy, and often triggering a response. So after 2 or maybe 3 days, that's when I do my first follow-up with the prospect. I say, hey name, know you're swamped or know you're super busy, still think that this could help you solve this specific challenge in your business. Would it be worth a quick chat? Then 2 days later or 3 days later, that's where I do follow-up number 2. Hey name, helping another business in their field book certain desired outcome, right? Whether you're doing marketing, operations, or software. Figured out you might want to know what's working. Should I assume not a priority? Then after another 3 or 4 days, or basically a week goes by, this is where I do my last follow-up, the third one, where I say, hey, this is the last check. Going to assume that you're good on your pipeline or good on whatever you're trying to solve for them, unless I hear otherwise. Here, if anything changes. And even through those 3 follow-ups, sometimes I get people, usually around 30 to 40% of them saying, hey, no, I was just busy, I apologize. Let's go ahead and schedule a time this weekend or next week to have a quick chat. So that's my LinkedIn relationship framework and script, so I have fruitful conversations even after booking them in, where it wasn't salesy, it wasn't based off an offer or a pitch. It was more about insights and value and ultimately seeing if we can help their business and collaborate together and become partners. So yes, copy this framework, but I'm gonna give you valuable tips so that you can keep innovating your script. So my first tip is you wanna keep innovating your script. The best script is a different script than the rest of your competition. Simply put, if everyone uses the same script, they're gonna look crazy and you're not gonna look different. So in other words, for you in the application is customize it. You can customize the opening line, customize your response handling system. Now, I'm not saying to personalize it for every single prospect that you talk to. However, you do want to make it different than your competitors. Number 2 is volume is king. If you're just using your LinkedIn account, that's more than enough. But you want to leverage all 200 connections a week, and with Sales Navigator, 150 in-mails a month. Now, my next tip is to simply keep testing. Keep trying to improve your metrics. Maybe your opening liner can get a higher connection rate or opening conversation rate. Perhaps your response handling system can be more concise and get more positive replies and ultimately more booked appointments. Keep tracking those sets in a Google Sheet, for example, and keep testing over and over to refine it and get better results. Now, lastly, keep your messages concise. Ideally, if you can keep it within 1 to 3 sentences, that's a good range. Anything after 4 or 5, it starts looking like a block of text that even if they're on LinkedIn, they're not going to read the entire message. And remember, casual language, acting as a colleague or a friend of theirs versus a corporate speak, that's going to win every single time. So last thing before we go to pillar number 4, if you have questions about your script and you want my take on it, I'm going to drop a link down below where you can book a private one-on-one free consultation with me, and I don't mind providing free guidance and insights on your script so that you can start tackling LinkedIn and getting more appointments. So if you want that, go ahead and just book a meeting with me down below, and I'd love to speak with you and give you some insights for free. All right, so we are in pillar number 4, how to delegate this so that you can run this on autopilot. So perhaps you are a busy business owner and you possibly don't have, 30 minutes to an hour long, or checking it every single day after meetings, while you're commuting, while you're at work, making this all happen. So what you want to do is delegate this specifically to a virtual assistant overseas, whether that be in South Africa, Colombia, or South Americas, or in the Philippines. Now for the next 5-6 minutes, I believe that it will take, I'm going to be sharing with you how to hire an A player, how to train them up, how to manage them, and ultimately how to grow them so that they become a great DM outreach setter. So right here, we're back into the whiteboard. Now I want to share with you first how to get applications for our VAs, how to interview them, then how to build a team or hire that one person you're looking for, how to train them as a good member, how to manage them as a member, as an ongoing long-term employee and team member, and how to grow them in their role so that they're thriving and doing a good job. So let's go back to apply. Basically, there's a multiple different places that you can get a virtual assistant from. And if you don't know what a virtual assistant is, essentially this is where you can hire online help contractors to help you with anything, whether it be executive assistant tasks, operations, even marketing itself, or in this case, DM outreach, reaching out to people through your LinkedIn. So number one is you can go to Facebook groups. If I go to my Facebook, so we can go to VA placement groups where you can say VA placement in the search. Then you can go to groups or pages. We'll just go to groups right now. So all you have to do is simply make a job posting saying looking for, or LF, that's what it stands for, DM outbound setter to help me land B2B clients. Then you want to give them a little bit of a description of the job. This is full-time, 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern, for example, Monday through Friday. Need working laptop, mobile phone, and solid connection. Now, you're probably also asking is how much is the pay? You can definitely start it at $3 to $4 an hour full time. And because it's a sales role where they book you appointments, you can also do a commission for every booked appointment. Perhaps giving them $5 to $10 depending on the volume of appointments you're bringing. And then from there, what I like to do is actually take them to a Google form that they can fill out. Let me show you what that looks like. So here I just created a simple virtual assistant application form through Google Forms. And then I'm basically asking for their information from full name, WhatsApp, their Facebook link, email address, if they're referral, letting us know who referred them, and if they worked as a virtual assistant before. Then we get into the more of the experience side of things. If they have maybe perhaps call center experience, can they speak fluent English? Do they have a working desktop or laptop? Do they have a working camera and headphones? Do you have administration, outreach, or lead generation or graphic experience before? And if they're currently working with another employer or business, do they have a Wise account, which is how we pay them? I'll talk about that in a moment. And of course, how soon are they looking to become a virtual assistant? Making sure that we are finding someone who's immediately looking for work. Then I like to ask to make a quick 1 to 2 minute video introducing themselves, telling us who they are, their work experience, and what they ultimately makes them want this job and what makes them qualified for it over other applicants. Then lastly, you want to double check that they do have good connections. So what you can do is have them go to speedtest.net and make sure that their test is really good and have them send you a screenshot with it. So from here, you can see I have a lot of different applicants coming here, and that's where we get into interviewing. But then there are definitely other ways to find applicants. You can go to Indeed.com, paying anywhere from $8 to $15 a day, and that's where you can get a couple hundred more applicants from there as well. And if they're on Indeed, they're pretty solid as applicants too there. You can also do Instagram, Facebook again, or you can go to third-party placement services like onlinejobs.ph, Fava, or I'm gonna selfishly plug myself, me. I have over 1,000 Philippine applicants, so if you need someone, you can directly message me. But okay, you get applicants yourself. Let's say you get them to fill out your Google form. Now, what you want to have happen is doing a group interview or 2 or 3 different group interviews. This is where you simply spend 30 seconds, sometimes even a minute, asking questions to each one and just really seeing how they handle responses and how they engage. First off, if they're even prompt with their camera on. Then you just want to filter it down to your top 3 or 5, do one more interview personally with these guys and bring it down to the top person or top 2 or 3. And if you have your top 2 or 3 and you still want to nail it down, you can give them a quick 7-day trial, kind of like football preseason, see who's going to get the top first string spot, the starting roster, right? You can do the same thing. And if you have people who are on standby or they just didn't make the quote unquote cut, no worries. You can refer them to your other business owners or you can help them out another way and refer them elsewhere. But now you got your virtual assistant. So what you want to do is train them Monday through Friday, especially in the first week. Talk about your business, who you're going after, and help them understand why their role is important. Now, just to kind of summarize, have open communication with them, whether it be through WhatsApp, Slack, Discord, whatever works for you. And I like to remind you, don't blame them for any mistakes that they make. They're only as good as you train them. So give them proper SOPs, literally download your brain. How do you think? How does your day go? Right? When you did DMs in LinkedIn, how does your day look like? Second is next, you want to have them keep track of the KPIs that you set for them, just like you set for yourself. Messages being sent, bookings happening, bookings shown, and just keep reviewing the numbers with them. With that and the consistency, you can start to finally have performance goals and challenges for them, right? You want to keep them on their toes. You want to keep them setting boundaries for what's possible and getting more appointments for you. And that's where you can ultimately, over time, get quality feedback from them and seeing how they can improve their role and help you get more clients. Now, just as a further bonus, give them books that help them educate themselves as business owners, as employees, promote them. Maybe you have a team of people doing DM outreach for you now. Give them raises, bonuses, and of course, give them gifts. They'll appreciate it for sure, 100%. So earlier I mentioned that we use Wise to pay people. Wise.com is a great platform. Let me go ahead and click here. Wise.com is a great platform. The transactions are fast. It goes to their bank or to their Wise account seamlessly and quickly, instantly. And it has very low fees. So that's why I personally like Wise over Veeam or other payment methods. So all you have to do is just, again, ask in your form, do you have a Wise account? If not, they can simply set it up, or you can look at alternates such as PayPal, Veeam, Remitly, and there's a plethora of others. With that all said, I appreciate you watching this. Have a good rest of your day and take action on LinkedIn. Peace.